Hello, my friend. I am so excited to play today because this video has been many, many years in the making. I have thought about making a video like this for so long, but I couldn't figure out like why I would do it, what was the purpose, like how I was gonna film it, all of that, but I have worked all of that out and I am so excited. Okay, so I was looking through my older palettes that I haven't really been using, kind of just looking about what can I pass on before it goes bad, and I found this. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, but this is not the same as the original one that was launched back, I don't know how many years ago, 3 years ago at this point, 4 years ago, I don't remember. But anyway, the formula is different. I have a whole video down below talking about why it's different. So I actually have the original formula and then I have this one. This one I'm just not going to use. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can make this palette better. I want to see if I can take some of these shadows, crush them up, mix them together again, repress them, and make some new shades that I actually want to use. So if you want to go on that journey with me, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. So I've never actually repressed eyeshadows before, so this is gonna be a new experience for me. I've watched a bunch of videos on different people doing it. I took little tips and tricks from different ones, so I think I've got it down. Let me show you what I put together and see if you think this is what I need. So first thing is a bottle of rubbing alcohol. So this is 70% isopropyl alcohol. I know that you can use up to 90% and then that will help it to dry down faster, but I saw a video by Sabrina where she used a little cloth, and as she pressed the cloth on top of it, and that absorbed some of the alcohol to help it to dry faster. So we're gonna do the Sabrina method with that. I've also got these little pans. I got these off of Amazon many, many years ago. They are already magnetic. If you get ones that aren't magnetic, you can actually buy little magnets like this, and you can also use these little things in the pressing process. Another thing that you use in the pressing process, if you don't have one of these, is you can use an American quarter or something the same size as this because it fits directly into the pan. I've also got these little baggies, and what I'm gonna do with these is as I crush up different shades, I'm gonna mix colors within the baggie and kind of go like this to see what color we can make and like add a little bit of this color, a little bit of that color, and we're gonna have a little fun mixing up. I also have an old Z palette that I found in the back of a drawer. I don't know how old this thing is, but I've had it forever, so I'm gonna put my shades in here when they're finished. And anything else? Oh, and then I had bought this tool a long time ago off of Amazon, and this is just a tool to help me crush and scrape and all of that, and hopefully it works out well. Oh, and then lastly, one thing that I saw in a lot of the demos where people were mixing the shadow in this with the alcohol, and it was such a mess because there's only so much room in there. So what I did was I went to my local craft store and I got these little trays. They were in like the cake decorating section, but I'm gonna use this to mix the shadow with the isopropyl alcohol, and then I'm gonna put it into the pan so I have a little bit more wiggle room to mix. Does that seem like a good idea at the time? So we'll see whether it actually works out. All right, without gabbing anymore, let's zoom in and let's play. All right, I've got myself all set up. Now, the first question is how in the world am I gonna get this out of the palette? So I'm gonna start with a shade I know I wanna use. So I'm gonna pull out Pool Party because I love this shade in the original palette. And how easy is this gonna come out? It doesn't matter if I break it because I'm gonna break it anyway. So that's actually coming out relatively easily. I'm actually quite happy about this. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, that's a mess. I'm gonna take this. Try not to scoop any of the other shades, no. Okay, that's close enough, and then I'll just dump the rest of the crumbs in the trash. This is really fun. This is a fun quarantine craft. I'm bored in the house and you're in the house bored. Like this is, oh, really, Jen? It's really fun though. Okay. So now what I read is that you need to make sure that you smash this like really fine because any chunks are gonna make the pressed shadow fall apart. So you gotta make it like real fine. You gotta spend some time. So maybe watching some Netflix while you do this one. This is actually a pretty creamy shadow. I don't know, how's that look? Does that still look like it's got chunks in it? Oh, found a chunk. Die, chunk, die. So that's good for now. Okay, what color should we mix with it? Okay, I'm gonna take this guy. One thing I like that she did in the later forms of this is by putting the names, she put the names underneath, which she didn't have in the original palette, and people were like complaining they didn't know what the names of the shadows were. So I love that she put that, so we know that the shade is Obsessed, and that one came out super easily. Oh, so satisfying. Definitely easier the second one, now that I feel like I've got the hang of it a little bit. And you can also reuse these pans. Nothing says you can't like just reuse these, but these might not be magnetic. Let me see. I mean, it's got all the gunk on the back, but no, these are not magnetic. So you'd have to get the little magnets to put on the bottom, but you could always clean these and use these if you want to. So now I want to see what happens when I mix these two together. And if it's ugly and I won't use it. Like it's just fun. So I'm gonna scoop. Let's do 2 scoops of this one. Let's do 3 scoops. But I want to just see if this is even gonna look good. Get all the air out and just mix them together and see what happens. Watch it come out like super ugly. That's actually turning out kind of pretty. I move these so I don't spill them. That's pretty. I like that. It's like almost silvery. It's like a silvery blue. That's really pretty. I think I want to press that one. That's beautiful. So now that I know that I like it, I'm gonna put a little bit more. So it was like, what did we do? We did 3 scoops of the Obsessed and 1 scoop of Pool Party. So let's do that again. Oop, oh no, 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 come back. Stop it. Okay. So just so you can see the 3 different shades and what ended up happening with it. This is fun. That's a fun shade. I feel like I'm gonna need more though. Like that definitely does not seem like it's gonna be enough. All right, I'm gonna mix just a little bit. You know what? I'm just going for it. We're gonna dump all of Obsessed in here. Well, most of it, because I did spill some. And then do a scoop here. And one thing that's great about doing this like this, rather than buying pigments on your own, is that from my understanding, some pigments can only be in a certain concentration in eyeshadow. So not knowing what that concentration is with like other ingredients, like, you know, talc or mica or bismuth oxychloride or whatever, like, you know that these have already been formulated by a chemist, and all you're doing is just mixing those already pre-formulated colors together. I saw somebody do the actual buying the wrong ingredients and making their own shadows, and that would freak me out personally, because I'm not trying to do too much or too little of different ingredients and mess up my eyeballs. I think because it is such a creamy formula, that's why I'm getting the chunks again. Okay, that looks pretty fine. Okay, so instead of putting it in here and then adding the alcohol, I'm really nervous to do that because I don't want to make even more of a mess than I've already made. So I'm actually going to add the alcohol in here and then I'm going to scoop it in. Ooh, that is so satisfying. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Oh. If you love color as much as I do, that is just beautiful. Definitely smells like a doctor's office in here though, so that's a unfortunate side effect of doing this. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna scrape it into the pan.
That is beautiful. I love this shade so much. I feel like I'm painting a cake. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry a bit, and we're gonna play and make a couple more shades. So I'd love to make a look out of this. I think this would look really nice with like a lighter version of Queen. So I'm thinking about mixing with In Light and doing mostly In Light with a little bit of Queen. Let's try it. Oh, darn. Another mess. Oh, no. Shade looks so much deeper out of the pan than it does in the pan. Really is beautiful. Got a new baggie, and I'm just gonna pour a bunch of this in. Oh, chua! That was unintentional. Come on, Jen, hold on to it. You got this, you got this. You got this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do 1 scoop of this and see how it works. That's pretty, but is it any different than the original? It is. It's like, it's pinkier. That's interesting. So let me see if I can get a wet swatch of the green that I made. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think those will go together? No. I think so. I think those will go together. And one thing that's cool about these little trays is that I can just wash them and reuse them. I don't know, maybe I want to add a little more of the darker brown. I don't know. I think I do. I think I want to add a little more of the darker brown. Yeah, it just made it I don't know, a little bit deeper, but not really. I wish I kept that other swatch on my hand. I'm just pulling from the tray, the wet tray. I think that'll look good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let it be. I don't wanna mess with it too much. So you can see the 3 shades, and this is the one that I mixed. So there's the 3 shades, and you can see that it's a little bit pinker, the mix. But I didn't add a whole lot of that in there. Maybe we can add this to something later, maybe. Or I can save it and add it to something another time. I can put it in a little bag and put it away and use it another time. I think this is my favorite part, mixing in the alcohol. I think I might have put a little too much alcohol in this one. You know, when you were a kid and you got ice cream and then you mixed it up to make it melt and turn into soup? That's what this reminds me of. I don't have as much product this time. Look how pretty that is compared to what I did the first time though. Like that is like, I think it's because of the amount of alcohol I put in it. Look at that. Look at the difference. Like so much prettier. As far as, you know, I'm learning, so learning little things. I don't even know if this is even gonna need to be pressed. It's just, well, I guess you do need to press it because that's how it stays in the pan. I don't know, but I'm gonna let it dry and see what happens. So one thing that I always felt like this palette was missing was a lighter matte transition shade. So I think I'm gonna take Silk Cream and mix a little bit of Beam into it. And I still have a little bit of In Light left, so I might put a little bit of that in there just to try to make, still kind of try to keep it matte even though these are pearlier shades. I don't know, we'll see. I would really like to keep it matte, but I don't have a way to lighten it with this palette. Ooh, okay, well, let's just try it. We'll try it, we'll see how it goes. The only other time I've depotted shadows, I was actually just trying to depot them and not just breaking them up. So it's very freeing to be able to depot these and not have to worry about the shadow cracking. It's very nice. Come on, a little bit more, a little bit more. Yes, you are free, my child, you're free. I don't think I'm gonna spend as much time chopping as I did before because I feel like as it gets pushed in the bag and all of that, like it kind of gets chopped. So I'm not as worried about that as I was a minute ago. I feel like this in light isn't enough to save for another project, so I'm just gonna dump that in to start. I'm nervous about making it too shiny, so I'm just gonna start with a little, like a couple of scoops of beam. I really want it to be more matte. I can always add more, but I can't take it away, so maybe we'll start there and we'll see how that goes, and I can always add more. Making a mess is fun. This looks like it's gonna be real pearly. Way more pearly than I intended. Who says you can't put a pearly shade in your crease? Who says that? Who made that rule? Ooh, I think that's gonna be nice once it's mixed. You know what? I think I can make it darker. I think I want it to be darker. Ooh, I'm excited though. Okay, I'm just gonna put it right in here. Make it a little darker. It's too close to my skin tone. Kind of wish I kept it in the bag, but too late. Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. Deeper, deeper, I say. I feel like being in the bag was definitely better than the tray, so I think in the future I'll just keep it in the bag and swatch from there like I did before. It's like I can barely even tell a difference. They look kind of the same, right? All right, I think we need to go a little deeper. Let's just dump it. We're dumping it. It's going. It's all going in. This is gonna be way too much product to fill that pan. There we go. There we go. That's what I was looking for. This is the original. So it lightened it up, so it's a little bit better of a transition shade for me. Yes, love it. I thought I had put too much alcohol in the other one, but I think I'm gonna put too much in again because it made it really easy to put in. So hopefully that doesn't mess with the pigmentation of it in its final form. Oh, I like that. Aw, it looks like a Hershey kiss. This would even be a fun craft to do between like a teenager or a tween and a parent. There you go, I think that's all that's gonna fit. I have a lot of extra product in there. So these are our 3 shades so far. Oh, I love it so much. I forgot with this one that someone had said to like go like this to bang the air out of it, like a brownie. I don't know. Ooh, it's oozing over the side. Oops, I better stop. All right, so I want now a deeper matte shade. So Central Park has always been my favorite shade in this palette. So we're gonna dig it out and break it. And then I'm thinking, maybe adding a little bit of this powder to it. I think that would be fun to just like lighten it up a little bit so it's not so deep. That'd be fun. Oh. We're breaking. Houston, we have a problem. If you're used to depotting and you've done this before, feel free to leave tips and tricks that you've learned down in the comments so that I can learn from you and we can all learn from you, because this is, like I said, the first time I've ever done this before. So tips and tricks appreciated. I wish there was like a matte pink in here to add, because I don't really want to make it red. Thinking, what if I just added a little bit of sissy to it just to give it a little bit of pink without giving it too much shine? If I like focused like on this shade and add a little bit of this and a little bit of sissy. maybe. Well, we'll take Sissy out and see what happens. And another thing is if you have loose mineral shadows that you have, you can always mix those into these too. Like you don't even have to stick to the same palette. You can do whatever you want. Like your creativity is the only limit. J for Jen. Like you even write your name in it. No, not so much. I'm such a child. I think if I was a color, I would be a lighter version of this shade. Okay, so this is gonna be my base shade. So I'm gonna put a lot of this in. You know what? F it. I need a third hand. All right, husband, will you come help me? I just need you to scoop it in. Can you just scoop the rest of this powder in? I appreciate you. That's good enough. Thank you. Take a little bit of Central Park. It does look like coffee all ground up, doesn't it? I think that was what she had said. The inspiration for this was Central Perk from Friends. And I know this is gonna be plenty to fill it up. So this is supposed to be the deeper shade. I don't think that's deep enough. I think it needs to be deeper. Deeper, I say. This is Pooter before I crushed it up, so it's definitely getting deeper. I just want it deeper than that. So we'll do 2 more of the brown and 1 more of the pink because I want to. Yeah, there we go. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was looking for. That is beautiful. This table's getting crazy. Okay, so those are the 3 shades, and then that is the mix together, which I love. Just give it a little mix just to make sure. La, 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 la. Now this looks like fudge brownies right here. Love this for me. So now we have our 4 shades. Yes. So excited about this quad. Really, that really does look like chocolate brownies. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited. So now we're supposed to press them, and I'm not sure if this is just gonna ruin everything. We will see. Let's start with the one that's been sitting around the longest and see if I can press this. I'm very nervous. So what I saw to do is you're supposed to take the quarter, put it on top, and then press down the cloth. And hopefully it presses the alcohol out so that it can be used. Definitely pressing some of the pigment out. Holy moly, that is bright. Whoa, I have an explosion. I don't know what I expected. Uh-oh. The quarter's stuck. Oh no. Oh no, I killed it. It's dead. Oh no. No. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad right now. I am a mess. Oh no. I still have a little bit more in the tray that I might be able to scrape out, so I'm gonna try to... Oh, it's drying. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dig this out of here, and I'm gonna re-wet it and try to repress it. Maybe that'll help, because remember this one was a little bit drier from the jump. I didn't put as much alcohol in it. This doesn't seem like it's nearly enough. So we'll take a little bit of this. And I think I used this shade. This was the shade I used. Put the rest of that in there. And we'll just keep playing until we get it right. Did I save it? Did I save it? I think I might have. Okay, so it's not quite as full as it was, which is a bummer. That's okay. All right, it's still really pretty. I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty. It's gonna go nicely. Okay, so apparently I can't remember directions very well. So you're not supposed to put the quarter inside the pan. You're supposed to put the cloth over top like this, and then you're supposed to put the quarter on top of that, Jen. Okay, let's try this again. So instead of using the quarter, I'm just gonna use this little magnet thing in case you're not using the magnetized pans, and I'm gonna press gently this time instead of pressing the crap out of it. I'm just gonna go like this, just a little bit. Give it a little press. And see, there's a little bit of alcohol coming up. Is that what we're looking for? I don't know. I'm wondering if I even need to press it at all or if I can just leave them alone. If you've ever done this before, I would love to know your thoughts on that. Whether I could technically just leave them and not press them at all and they would just take longer to dry. That's what I'm wondering. Or would that compromise, because I'm not pressing them, would that compromise like the pigmentation on them? I don't know. Let me know if you know. All right, so I'm gonna say that that one is pressed. Yeah, let's say that it is. This one is going to overflow, I think. Here, this is what we'll do. Maybe, kind of. It was so much prettier a second ago. I wanna make brownies now. Okay, now let's try this and not press it down too hard. There we go. And it is spilling out the side, but I can always clean that up later. I'm not worried about that. And I guess it probably just takes some trial and error as far as how hard to press. You don't want to press it too hard. There we go. And you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna leave this one unpressed just to see if it made a difference, because this one is like perfectly in the pan and I don't want to mess it up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these into my Z palette. And this one won't be pressed either. The ones that I pressed were the matte shades and I'm not pressing the shimmer shades, so I'm really just gonna have to play with this more. But those are my 4 shadows. I was thinking I should put this in here and then close it up for the night, but then what if, like, because I don't want anything to fall in it, but then what if it doesn't dry out because there's a cover on it and the alcohol can't evaporate? So I guess I'm just gonna leave it like this. And I'll be back tomorrow, which will only be a second for you. And we're gonna see if we can make a look out of these, because that sounds like fun to me.
All right, we are back. It did take me a few days to get back, so these I know are completely dry because they've been sitting for multiple days. They've definitely sunk into the pan, at least it seems like it, a little more than when they were wet, which is fine. There's no problem with that. I also noticed that the matte ones did crack a bit, especially the brown one. That may have been due to my terrible pressing job, or maybe it's just those are just a little drier of a formula. I don't know. Again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm really just having fun and just enjoying the process of it. So what I'm gonna do now is I want to go ahead and create a look with this and see how they perform. But I do want you to keep in mind there's a reason why I'm not using this palette, and it's because they use the traditional Morphe formula, which I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. It's not a bad formula. It's not unusable. It's definitely very usable. You could make some really pretty looks with it. It's just not my favorite. There's so many other palettes I'd rather use. So the formula most likely hasn't changed for the better. So keep that in mind. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. So let's go ahead and zoom in and do that. think the look came out really cute. I like it. I think it came out fun. So what I did was I just swatched them on my arm real quick so you could see the shades swatched. Swatching them, I feel like the matte ones didn't swatch as pigmented as easily as the ones that were originally pressed. I'm just being 100% with you, but they did build nicely. And I found that with the application as well, they built really nicely, even though they didn't swatch great. Like it took me a while to build up this shade to get it to look like this, but you saw with the application on the eye, that wasn't a problem when it came down to it. Now on the other side on my hand, what I did was I swatched the original Pool Party next to mine so you could see that there is a little bit of a difference. This is the original Central Park one, and then this is Pooter from this palette that's still around because I don't have any Pooter left. I'm fresh out of Pooter, so I had to go into the old Pooter and swatch that one so you could see. So there may be a little bit of a difference between what I'd used and what this one is, but this is kind of, you know, the mix, plus we added that little bit of the pink shade of the Sissy shade. It's not as big of a difference as I thought it would be, but I do like it. I like it a lot. Full review of doing this after going through the entire process. It's messy, it does take time, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's the difference between doing a puzzle and buying a poster. Yeah, you could buy a poster, but it's kind of fun to put the puzzle together. And even with this, you're kind of making your own picture as well. You're making your own shadows. And what I did was I took the leftover powder from the palette and I'm saving them. I labeled them, I just wrote on them with a Sharpie, and I'm saving them for when I do this again because it really was fun. You know, when you're bored and you're trying to, you know, find some craft to do, you got an eyeshadow palette lying around that you haven't used in a long time, it's fun to just break it up and try to make something new out of it. And I definitely learned about the quarter thing. I know some of y'all are laughing at me, and that's okay. I can take that because we all do silly things sometimes, and I think it's important to show that everybody does. Do silly things, make silly mistakes, but we fixed it and we all learned. Well, I learned, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely gonna be doing this more. So at this point, my friend, it is your turn in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the collective brain down there. What tips and tricks do you have for me and other people for this process? Have you ever done this before? Is this something you're interested in doing? What shades have you mixed that you've really enjoyed? Are there videos that you particularly found helpful? Any other resources? Feel free to leave those down in the comments so we can all learn from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had fun today. I know I did. If you'd like to hang out a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending some videos of mine right over there for you to watch. But if it is your time to go, it is no problem at all. Thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did. Mad love to you, and I'll see you in a video very, very soon. Bye!